Yep, and there's like an installer from El Paso comes to install, you don't know how, so. And that guy said, nope, they sent me the wrong ones. And so it's in back and they're still waiting.
Is it a rebuild?
No, just replace it.
Yeah, but.
Oh, yeah, very. Very. This won't be here today, so. No. It's good. It is hot in here.
Oh, it is not hot.
It's not gonna be here at all. Yeah, I don't think it's gonna be in there either. He didn't tell me it was gonna be, no. Yeah, he's not. Good evening. Welcome to all those in attendance. This is a regular school board meeting. Today is Wednesday, October 14, 2024, and the time is 6 p.m. And what
You
is
said
it,
October.
I'm already thinking of October, that break. I'm tired. October, August, excuse me. Today is
Wow.
August 14, 2024. I know. And it is 6 p.m. I call this meeting to order. Mr. Legarreta, will you please take roll?
Yes. Vice President Gonzalez,
Present.
President Marquez,
Present.
Member Montes,
Absent.
Member Galai,
Here.
Member Legarreta is here.
All right, let's all stand for the pledge and the salute to the flag of New Mexico. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. I salute the flag of the state of New Mexico, the Zia symbol of perfect friendship among the United States. Okay, item number. Is it on?
No, press again. There.
All right, item number 1 on the agenda, approval of consent agenda. Members of the board, are there any items you wish to be removed and discussed separately? Okay, if not, Mr. Secretary, will you please read out the consent agenda items?
Agenda items: A, approval of agenda. B, approval of minutes, 7/24/2024 regular and 8/7/2024 special meeting. C is approval bills, July 2024. D is approval of budget adjustments, requests, transfers, cash requests. Increase bar 24330, 21100, 28222.
Right, thank you. If there's no objection, I will call for a vote to approve the consent agenda. All in favor say yes. Yes.
Yes.
All opposed say no. Okay, motion carries 5-0. Consent agenda is approved 5-0. Item number 2, superintendent's report.
We've got a lot of information to cover, but first we want to start off with recognition and the Heart of the Bear, and something that we had kind of gotten away from, and we're trying to bring it back. And so the first group that we would like to recognize for this month's board meeting for the Heart of the Bear pin goes to our Ed Rising people that did
Rising.
really well in nationals. And I'm going to ask Miss Maria Gomez to come up and tell us a little bit about her students and how they did at the national competition.
Awesome. Good evening.
First of all, thank you so much for your guys' support and being well for me and the students and also the parents of the community. This year, the students went to nationals in Washington, D.C. There was over 3,300 plus participants across the country who participated in these competitions and contests. And 8 of our students were top 5 at nationals. If you guys
Wow.
follow us on Facebook, we posted them we talked about a little bit where they can get it at. Do you want me to let them know?
Yes,
Yes,
absolutely.
and
Yes.
those are the-
Maria, is the mic on? Is she on,
It
Louis?
looks-
It doesn't look like
No,
it.
no.
Press the button again.
Hold it.
Leave
hold
it. Press down on it. There you go.
There you go.
Can you hear me?
Now
Yes,
we can
yes,
hear
okay.
you.
So 8 of us students did place top 5 at nationals, and our first one that placed second place was Marfil Cisneros and Ed Rising Moment. We also had Daisy Chides, who placed third with lesson plan and delivery in Spanish. We had Angela Cirteño, who placed fourth in lesson plan and delivery in Spanish. We had Maria Santoyo, who placed fourth as well, and interactive bulletin board. Sorry, third, she placed third. Then I have our group who placed fifth in Insider Schools in Spanish, which is Giselle Moreno, Naila Gomez, Diana Cordero, and Juan Serrano. So we want to thank you so much. At Nationals, it gets really hard. It's a 4-day competitions, and we're just like all over the place. They had a great opportunity to interact with colleges. Golden Apple was there as well, and I'm proud to say that we have 2 candidates from Golden Apple, which is Daisy Chides and Maria Santoyo. They got the scholarship. And right now they're entering as freshmen for bilingual education.
And I hope
Did
you
you
guys
guys-
had a chance to free time to go to some of the museums. Oh, awesome.
I have Angela Certeño that would like to talk a little bit about their experience. You want to come over here?
During the national competition, I guess, I had the opportunity to work with really nice mentors in the education world, and I'm working with 3 mentors, and we are creating an article for the PDK International, and they have their own magazine line, and it's called the Cap'n or like Capcan something. I'm sorry, like I can't remember it. I'm too nervous right now. But our goal is to write an article about schools and like how they have been for the past years, what has changed, what has improved, and we can definitely tell there's been a huge difference because school is not the same as it was 100 years ago. And I am super glad to be working on such a huge project and being able to network with so many good people and just bringing back that bear pride that we all need because we are like such an amazing school, and I feel like it'll motivate others to do better and to maybe strive for more because it's possible. So thank you.
All right.
Mr. President and members of the board, before we
Oh.
go there, I want to invite Ms. Brandy Holguin up. And one of the things that a measure of success with your extracurricular activities is when you receive like feedback from people that are not associated with the district. And Ms. Holguin and myself, we received a letter from someone talking about these fine individuals that represented Hatch Valley Public Schools so well and our community. And so I'd like to have Ms. Brandy Holguin read that letter.
All right, so I'm president of the board and members of the board. Thank you for allowing me to speak tonight. This email that we received really touched my heart. And it's a testament to all of you guys. So thank you for representing our school. It's from a university professor from Virginia. And he said that he enjoyed interacting with students from 10 to 15 different states while at the conference, but there were no students who he met who were more impressed than our students from Hatch Valley High School that were in attendance. About 6 or 7 of your students were circulating around the room Saturday the 29th, visiting tables set up by various in attendance. They stopped to ask about where Longwood was and what type of teacher education program they have. They asked some excellent questions and then proceeded to tell me a great deal about the community in Hatch. They were superb ambassadors from Hatch, speaking about your school and the town with knowledge and pride. I learned about the Chili Festival and about Sparky's, giving me a positive impression of the teachers that these students will be. Mostly, however, I left the conversation impressed by a group of young people who were openly and willing to engage in conversation with a stranger. This is encouraging as we are teaching a generation of young people with a far greater tenacity and intact only with their cell phones. Even at the conference, many students could be seen returning to corners of the conference hotel on their phones or sitting in solitude with their earbuds in. Your students were the exception. However, they were very capably engaged in a prolonged, real conversation. They were professional and engaging to the point where it's prompted to be noted. I know it must have required a substantial commitment of the resources of Hatch Valley Schools and or those of the families sending the groups over 2,000 miles to a conference. But I wanted to write and let you know how well they did, at least at this one conversation. I hope they return to Hatch safely and further committed to their careers in education. I have been preparing teachers for over 20 years at the college level, and I could see the future teachers in every one of the Hatch Valley Public Schools students I met. Please extend my congratulations to the educator riser teacher at the high school and to the families of these students should that opportunity arise. So thank you for allowing me to share that. It really touched my heart that this person took time out of their busy schedule, a professor from a university, to tell us how wonderful and great our students are. So thank you, guys.
Now, Brandy, is there a way to translate that letter so that the parents can hear that as well?
Yes. Yes,
So
we will make
that's
sure that
something-
happens.
Because, you know, it's got to be translated.
I agree.
Yeah.
We'll
Thank
get
you.
that
Well,
done.
thank you.
Thank you.
You guys made a great impression. Awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For all of you guys working with Ed Rising, the adults, thank you guys for making a difference. And for the students in the program, we're very proud of you guys. It's wonderful to see that the future of Hatch Valley and education is looking really, really bright with you guys in it. Thank you, guys.
Oh, we have some part of the bear pins. You guys want to go up there and help? You can all give some out. Grab some. Cheeseburger. Cheeseburger.
Cheeseburger.
Thank you.
Do you think it was the guy with the photo?
Really cheeseburger, I think.
Let's give our Ed Rising group another round of applause. All right, the second item on the superintendent's report is Lorenzo Alba from Casa de Peregrinos. As you know, the Hatch Valley Public Schools. Yes, ma'am.
Did we not have the honor society next, or we're doing that? Like
No, they're in an action item
Oh.
at the later
okay.
on the agenda.
And I know that Mrs. Garay usually reminds me, but for those of you in attendance, if you have presented and would like
Go
to
home.
go home and go get your homework done or relax.
Yeah.
I mean, it's perfectly fine.
Welcome to stay or welcome to go.
Yep, welcome to go or stay.
So as I was saying, this was a partnership between the Village of Hatch, the Hatch Valley Public Schools, and Casa de Peregrinos, and it allowed us to open up the food bank. And Mr. Lorenzo Alba is the executive director for Casa de Peregrinos and is here to give us a report. Were you able to get that on?
Well, again, thank you. My name is Lorenzo Alba. Thank you for having me. It's always a pleasure to come speak in front of you and in front of this community that has, with open arms, welcomed what we are doing here in the Hatch Valley and in the northern part of the county. Go ahead and go to the second slide, if you would, please. What we have done here in the last 6 months is pretty unprecedented. One of the goals that we have at Casa de Peregrinos is to make an impact in an area of this large county by adding infrastructure. When we were looking in the Hatch Valley for many, many, many years, we could not find an actual facility to do the work in. When this partnership came about through some collaboration with our late Mayor Slim Whitlock and Mike, we were over the moon about the opportunity. We knew it was going to work. We knew that people were going to come to it. We just didn't know it was going to happen that quickly. It has taken off, and I just want to share some numbers with you. We still need to speak with the family, but we've gotten permission to do this. We need to get logistics really on how they like the sign to look. But we're going to memorialize Slim Whitlock with our pantry, and we're going to name it after him. We're also going to put Corazón de Oso in the sign because we feel that's an important message that Hatch Valley Public Schools gives to this community and what really unites this school district with the people that live and work here in this area. So we want to make sure that we keep that intact as well. Our logo will be there, and that'll just a logistical thing for us, but this is what we're going to do with the pantry. Quick update on what's going on. If you could go to the next slide. This is what's happened in the first 6 months at the pantry. We have distributed 2,500 food baskets. This is a part that really impresses me. 938 clients have registered with us to receive services. Right now, we're averaging about 425, 430 each month. The nice part about it is that we're actually able to open when we want, because right now we can even adjust with the weather conditions and what's going on. I do want to thank the community for adjusting to what we do, because it also allows them to have more time to come to the pantry. Initially, we were only going to open 2 days. When we finish renovations, our goal is to open for 3 days, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. It is also going to be our long-term goal to take some pop-up pantries into those communities that we left. Because before this, we had a mobile food pantry in Garfield, a mobile food pantry here in Hatch, and a mobile food pantry in Rincon. Today, we did our first pop-up in Rincon. 150 people showed up. We distributed about 60, 70 pounds of produce to each family there that came to pick up food. That's what we want to do at these communities, just to kind of follow suit. Another thing that's also happened is we got some of the GROW money, what they used to call junior dollars at the legislative session. It's called the GROW money now, from Senator Steinborn, and that is to start a delivery program here for the homebound in this area. This is something that was very important to the late Mayor Slim Whitlock, and it's something that he did on his own for a very long time out of his store. So one of the things that resonates with me about him is that he reminded me on a regular basis, don't forget about my delivery program. And we're going to do it. And now we have some money to go ahead and start it. So that funding begins to funnel in around October, and that's about the time that we'll begin the program. So if you guys know of a couple of people that need some part-time driving jobs that know this community well, we're going to be looking for those folks, okay? Time to contact David Silva, our guy here at the Hatch Pantry, and we'll be looking for some folks to help us with that. We're going to have other agencies help us in actually trying to figure out where and whom needs these services, and make sure that we're able to provide those services. Our goal is to at least provide a minimum of 40 deliveries every month. I'm thinking that by the end of the fiscal year, we're going to be closer to about 100, just from the stories that Slim used to tell me. So yeah, let's get this going. Quick update on renovations. We've completed the USDA grant to go ahead and get the congressionally designated dollars, which was 300,000 from Representative Gabe Vasquez. Completed. It is in review now. From what I understand, the dollars can be begin to be allocated as quickly as next month, September. So then we'll be able to move forward on it. The capital outlay money agreement is already in the hands of the Village of Hatch, which is the other 175,000. And the architect is on the verge of getting everything complete on the renovation design so that we can move forward with the renovations. As soon as we have all this in place, we've already been talking with the administrative staff and finance staff over at the school district to make sure that we're following suit to everything that you guys have in your policies, in your bylaws, and making sure that we're following suit to what we need to do with the Village of Hatch too. They're also in communication with the state to make sure that we're following suit to capital outlay legislative law, as well as USDA. That's the hardest one, is USDA. But it is going to move forward, and we're looking forward to it. It's not a big project, but it's enough to really get this building up to par to get done what we need to. We are going to add a state-of-the-art drive-up pantry to it, and of course, add HVAC to it and refrigeration units in there. There's going to be a lot of new pavement and sidewalks in that area as well. A few little renovations inside just to get everything ADA compliant for the facility. I think the good news is that hopefully we'll get that done here in the next 3 or 4 months, maybe 5 months. That's what our objective is. The only part we can't control is the USDA money. That's the most difficult part. We also had to present the design, the architectural design to you for your approval. We also have to get approval from the Village of Hatch as well. So I think this will be something that you guys can take a look at and make sure that it's gonna be up to par to what you guys want in quality. We are excited about the opportunity up here, and you've done something for us that we knew all along, that infrastructure projects like this will definitely help us close the hunger gap. Everybody says that, oh, just do a mobile food pantry. Just go over there and drop off food and leave. But no, people like coming here. They like going to the pantry. They enjoy the fact that we're here and know that they can rely on us. Even if it's not their time of the month to come, they know that they can show up and that they're going to be able to receive food. They know that. I think what your philosophy is at the public schools here is just unbelievable, because you're beginning with the family. Because you're beginning with the family, I think you're going to get kids, students like the ones that I just saw right now, that are driven by the wonderful things that are happening at this school district. They're prideful of this place. You see it every time I come in here, you see it. I see it from people that have been on this board, school teachers that come and help us. In the administrative office, the philosophy is all the same. We want to make sure that we start with the family. If the family is going to be okay, then we know we're going to be able to educate these kids. And let's face it, the only way out of poverty or any situation in financial is with education. And if you begin here trust me when I tell you that even if they just go into the workforce, that experience and education that they got here is going to resonate with them for a lifetime where they can pass that on generationally. And that's what Hatch does. That's what they've been doing since I've been working with them. I think I met Mike the first week he got on the job. I took him to the Pepper Pot for lunch and wanted to see what he was going to do. He told us, and I've seen it all happen. I was in disbelief at first when I started seeing it happen. I was like, oh, this is my rival. I grew up in Lordsburg, so you can imagine. But needless to say, I appreciate the opportunity. I'm going to keep you guys going on the updates as we receive more updates. I'm excited about these wonderful collaborative efforts that we're doing with both the school district and the village at Hatch. There's no way we could do this without you. Not a way we could. We could try to come here by ourselves, and we've tried, but it didn't happen. That's just not the way it was supposed to happen. It was supposed to happen as a collective effort between all of us. I do have a short message from some of the clients here. So if you could click on that link.
It's an everyday need, but it's more needed in summer because the kids do not go to school and they're at home, so they have to make sure you have food in your house.
Pues dan muchas cosas como fruta, verdura, la leche, que es lo que más se usa en el hogar.
Y mi esposo no me creía cuando iba en la tienda. No, es que gastaste mucho y que para lo que trajiste y ya últimamente me lo llevo. Y dice, no, dice, $200 en esas cositas que llevas. Le digo, y es lo básico. Le digo, si lleváramos más, era más.
Fresh fruit and vegetables is really expensive in this store, so it does help a lot. I'm disabled, so it definitely helps to be able to get that extra food, so because money has to pay for all kinds of things, other bills, so yeah, it helps a lot.
Lo de $100 antes mi carrito lleno, ahora ya no puedo, porque ya todo está bien caro y pues ya se ahorra uno un poquito viniendo aquí a casa de peregrinos y llevar su mandado.
When you're in a tight budget, it's like you gotta limit what you get, but with the help with the food pantry, you can get fruits and vegetables and the kids enjoy it. And it helps out in the long run.
Y el mandado que dan aquí, nos ayudamos demasiado, porque todo lo que dan, lo utilizamos y no nos falta que comer. Gracias a Dios y a ustedes y a todos los voluntarios que vienen a ayudar.
So with that, I will leave you. And again, thank you for allowing us to collaborate with you on this. If there's ever anything I can do to help you and help this community, you let us know. We are absolutely wide open to any kind of collaborative effort to better this community and to make sure that your philosophy stays moving forward, because it does begin with the family. And if you can make the family unit strong through this, I think you're going to make a big difference in these children's lives. So God bless all of you guys. And Mike, thank you for inspiring me. I appreciate you more than you know. And for those of you guys that have worked with me on some projects, thank you so much. Amen.
Thank you. Lorenzo, before you leave, one of the things that I want to say is that, it's not just the benefit of the clients receiving, food and fruits and vegetables and food and, but it also impacts the community. And so Lorenzo, I know that there's certain, I don't know if you've already doing this, but I know there was at least plans to work with our local farmers to buy some of their produce, and as well as some of our businesses here. And my understanding is that you're buying eggs from Village Market. Is that right?
We're buying food locally. That's our objective, is to buy some food locally. And we've been buying from some of the farmers for a long time already anyways. But now it's a lot easier to just go get it and drop it off here. When we go over tomorrow and pick up watermelons and beans. And he's excited because some of that food's staying right here in his community, not necessarily going all the way to Las Cruces or other communities. And they make a concerted effort to hold back some of the food that they sell because most of the food in New Mexico gets exported. That's how farmers survive here. But they leave some for us so that we can buy from them and we can get it to the families here. We started buying from the grocery store, and that's our intention, is to do some buys here, especially of commodities that the families really need, like milk and eggs, bread, things that they really are going to be needing for their families. So I've already got an account set up with them, and we know what to do and how much to spend. So it's exciting that we're able to do those. And again, whenever we come to a community, it's about hiring people and also providing some economic support for this community. So that's why we choose to buy local. We do that. We've been doing that for about 11 of the 13 years that I've been working at Casa Peregrino. So, but yes, thank you. And I think David Silva is here. He is our guy here. He's a local, which we really like. You're going to probably see a lot more of him. We're going to actually have him do some outreach, figure out where else we can help in the community. Give him a little bit more leeway here now that everybody knows he's home and ready to rock over here. So thank you, David, for all your hard work. And if you guys need anything, that's another way to get a hold of us, is through David. Okay. Thank you. Any questions?
Well, just one other thing, just because I know this, but I know Olivia Paez has been working with David. David, you and Olivia have been working to coordinate a staff day for our employees to go over to the food bank. And so that our employees would also be able to partake. And so we're coordinating that special days to be able to do that. And so, David, I don't know if we've pinned down some days or not, but we have not. Okay, I know we're still in the planning stages, but I know that's one thing that we'd like to see.
Yeah, we definitely want to just get more food out in this community. You know, if I could look back in a year from now or a couple of years from now and say that we've distributed 500,000 pounds of food through here, that would just be so big for us. We're almost there. We're halfway there in the first 6 months. I mean, that's amazing that we can do that. So we do 500,000 pounds every year here and move our way up. I think we're going to serve this community really well. Having the clothing bank across the way, and you know, it makes you kind of want to wonder, what else are we missing? What can we add to really help the families here? We're trying to talk other agencies into bringing services over here as well. I think Jardín de los Niños is just moving in a location here. I think they just had talks with getting that happening this past year. So we want others to come over here and bring some other services here. We think it's important. It's an important location for a lot of reasons. It's not just to chill, it's about the people that live here, the people that have been living here generationally and providing for a lot of us for many years. So thank you again.
Thank you, Loda. Thank you. Next on the list, I want to give just a quick staffing report so that you know we're 3-4 weeks into the school year now, and we do have several vacancies. We're still looking for a SPED teacher over at middle school. We're looking for a high school math teacher. We're looking for a gifted teacher. We're looking for an SLP and a nurse. In all of these positions, we currently have people in place, well, with the exception of, well, also the gifted, I just remembered. But in all of these positions, we have people filling in, highly qualified people. And so we're just hoping that we can get people on board so that we can release the people that are in there currently. And so, so we're not doing, we're not bad. I think we've got some prospects. I know Ms. Vogel was telling us about possible SPED teacher and also a possible gifted teacher. And I know Brandy, you were talking to us, and we're getting a little resourceful and looking for these people, but she may have a lead on a teacher. And SLP, we've got some leads on that. And the nurse one, that one's been a little challenging. And so luckily we've had Carla Moffett that came back and she wasn't retired yet. She wasn't officially retired. And so it kind of worked out for us. And so she's given us some time. She wants to give us up to November 1st to find somebody, so we're going to be beating the bushes and see if we can't find a nurse that will take over. And so, so 5 positions, that's not bad. Like I said, the only one that we're really struggling with is the nurse position. Last month, Mr. Gonzalez, you asked about school supplies and teachers paying for supplies out of pocket and students and that sort of thing. And I just want to report that we have continued this year with our Bear Bucks. So every one of our teachers received $150 to use and however they wanted to spend it. Some have spent it on like a chair. Some have spent it for just supplies, bulletin board stuff, just different things. We haven't really limited what they could buy it on, but they're spending it. They're spending it. I just talked to Miss Sheila late last week, and she was telling me that we're already receiving the orders and you know, to get that ordered, and they're also receiving the supplies, and so we're off and running with that.
Did they also receive all the materials they need curricular wise?
Some of the curriculum materials we're still waiting on some of those.
Okay.
Yes.
Do you have a timeline on that?
No, I don't. It just depends on, you know, how quickly they can get things shipped. But yes, we do have everything on order.
And is that because it was ordered late or? Is it
Some of
just
it,
things that-
yes, some of it was transitional, some of
Okay.
it was, some of it was just reviewing again, what we're doing. And as you know, with the new goals that the board has established, it really made us look at, okay, what's working, what isn't working? Is there something else that we can use that would give us better results? And so some of it, it's just a combination of things. Yes, some of it was ordered later, but it was because we really wanted to do an analysis of what we currently have and see if we needed to make a change. Okay, moving along, wanted to talk a little bit about student achievement and some of the initiatives that we're working on. The first one is our curriculum maps. And so one of the things that we have come back to is to make sure that we're all aligned in what we're doing. And one of the ways that we could do that is with the construction of curriculum maps. But it's not just the curriculum map per se, and what you see there on the screen is a template that we rolled out for every teacher to complete. It's like I said, it's not just a curriculum map, but it's also a standards map, because again, I know Mr. Marcus, I know it's one of the things that you're really big on as the standards, and are we teaching to the standards? And so this was a process to be able to do that, but also incorporate academic language. What are the learning targets, and how are we assessing to make sure that the kids are learning? And so I'm just going to pass these around. That's just a couple of samples. You can pull the other one up, Louis. But here's some samples, some others I'm just going to pass around. Our teachers and our principals have done an amazing job of this work and getting it done. And so every grade level has a map, and every subject has a map, and it is aligned to the New Mexico instructional scope, which one of the things that we're really focused on with the instructional scope is the identification of priority standards. And so the priority standards are the ones that are really focused on when we take these summative assessments. And so these are just different maps from just around the district. And so if you want to look at them and really dive into them, the template is still the same. And so the next piece of that will be, we're going to training on the 4th of September for MLSS. And that'll be the next step, is looking at our curriculum maps and then looking to see how do we incorporate the MLSS and really focus on our layer 1, layer 2, and layer 3 kids. Okay, and there's another map, Louis.
Mike, when you identified your priority standards, how did you guys go about that process?
It is part of the instructional scope, the New Mexico instructional scope. It is identified.
Okay.
The
You guys
state,
use the- you
the
guys
state
work
has-
for The state, correct?
yep, the state has done an amazing job with that instructional scope. And everything is highlighted there. In fact, they even give you like practice assessments on what
Examples, what the
exactly.
learning looks like.
Exactly. And so we really feel like this will really align our instruction so that we're on target and making sure that we're teaching to the standards.
And figuring out what strategies to use to.
That's the,
do that.
well,
That's
yeah,
the hard part.
that's the next piece is the
Yeah.
instruction. So this is the
Instruction.
curriculum. We also got to look at the instruction pieces. Okay,
Good start.
any
Awesome.
questions?
When you begin looking at your assessment piece, what's your plan for that piece?
Well, there's different kinds of formative assessments, right? So there's some that teachers do every day, like exit tickets and that sort of thing. But there's also the more structured formative assessments like that are the interims. And so we'll have all the interim assessments as well. Some of the teachers, some of the classrooms, some of the buildings have unit assessments, and so they're monitoring that as well. And so there's just different kinds of assessment. Of course, it's all leading towards that summative assessment at the end of the year.
And are the teachers having the chance to create common formative assessments if they don't have a unit assessment or something? Are they working together to kind of come up with a common formative assessment? Like, for example, all grade one.
You know, I don't know that we're there yet, but we
Okay,
have our
no.
principals present and I don't
But
know
right
if
now they're
anybody can
using
speak to
the
that.
unit assessments and things that are already pre-made, correct?
I'm hoping, yeah,
Okay.
I'm hoping yes, because
Okay.
the map is done, right?
Yeah,
So if everybody's following the same map,
Yes.
then we should be able to create one assessment. That's
Okay.
common.
yes, all right,
Okay.
that's good.
Any particular plan in mind yet as you move forward with how, when you get to that point, when you have that common assessment, how you guys are gonna come together to analyze the data and you
So
gonna go
that-
back to the data dive days?
Well, we do have the data dives, and we'll be looking at interim assessments. So any type of formative assessments beyond that, will be part of the PLC process at the school sites.
Nice.
Okay. The next piece that, well, and let me just say before I wrap up on that, so the goal was when teachers came back is to have the first unit done or the first month, first 9 weeks. And then after that is to be working on them as we go along. And so they should be working on the next set already so that whenever that time period is done, and you'll see some teachers were more ambitious than the others, you know, and some really took it to heart. I think I saw the chemistry map that, boy, I think she's already planned out to October or November. But they're doing a really, really good job. And the feedback that I've received has been really, really positive. Okay. The next is, the next piece of that is leading up to the evaluation piece. And so making sure that how does the curriculum map tie into the evaluation pieces? And what are some of the look fors? And so going back to the evaluation instrument, our principals were directed to work with their instructional staff and looking at domains 2 and domain 3. Right now, the goal was for domain 2, but some of our buildings already got domain 3 done. And so the big goal was to identify, if we were to walk into a classroom, what would that look like and what would that sound like? And so, so we already have the indicators within the evaluation instrument. But what we wanted to do is we wanted to drill down, okay, because they're still kind of general. And so we know that each building is a little bit different. And so what's going on at the elementary school may look very different from what's going on at the high school. Still within the framework or the indicators, but it's going to sound differently and it may look a little bit differently. And so working with the staff again, drilling down to identify what that looks like and what that sounds like so that when we start going in and doing classroom walkthroughs, now we know exactly what teachers have said that it looks like and what principals will be looking for. Okay. And so Louis, you've got, I think you got the next set of slides, the ones that say domain on them. But here's some sample of the work. And they're going to look a little bit different. And so this one's middle school. and the work that they did in those areas. Domain 2 and domain 3, I believe they got all the way down to 3. Is that correct, Mr. Mora? Okay. And so you can see, what does it hear and what does it sound like and what does it look like? Okay. Pull up the other one, Lewis. And the next slide or the next page. That's still the map, Lewis. It's the one that says domain on it. That's still middle schools. There's one other. Yes, I believe so. Yeah, there you go. Okay, and I don't know if that's Hatch Elementaries or high schools, because they followed the same format. But you can see where they've taken all the different indicators and then below it, working with the staff, identified, they've drilled down. Again, what does that look like? What does that sound like? And so now we have a better idea. Teachers have a good idea of what we're looking for when we go into classrooms. So it allows them to really focus their instruction on not only the curriculum maps, but also the evaluation tool. What are the expectations? Any questions?
I do like how you identified those specific things under what was the other page? On the bottom right there,
Yeah.
body language, differentiation, inclusion. I like how you identified those.
Using understand the teachers.
Yeah.
Understand what that.
Yes, what it looks like,
Looks like.
specifically what it looks like.
And this format does, Brandy and Amy, I know you guys use the same kind of format, but that was their idea. I just told them I want to see something that says, again, drilling down so that we all have a good understanding of what are the indicators and what are the competencies within the different domains. And so each one did something a little bit different, but all very good work.
Mhm.
Okay. The next one is Lewis, is the assessment schedule. And oh, that one's really tiny. I've got one hard copy. I'm gonna send that around.
Is that following kind of like with the from pads?
Yeah. And so Mr. Mesa is still our testing coordinator and he's done a really good job of
I
keeping
can't
us
see
in
that.
line. And yeah,
Can't see it.
it's hard for me to even see it. I've got old eyes, I guess. But it's, the same sort of thing, we're gearing up for BOY and leading into MOY and of course EOY. And so the different testing that we've got going on and the interim assessments and there's a lot. There's a lot that we have to make sure it takes a lot of organization and I know the windows are set, but then the windows are pretty large from PED. So we have to narrow them down a little bit. And so I know Mr. Mesa has been in contact with the principals, working with them to identify what the windows are so that we all know when it's coming. Okay. All right. And I think Mr. Mesa is here. Mr. Mesa, you have anything to add to that? Yes. Okay. All right. Right. Yeah, that's right. It's a big conference that, again, we just make sure that we're all on track and we're in alignment and we've got it on the calendar. So, okay. The next piece is a question that Mr. Lagaretta, you had asked specifically about the grading scale, and I visited with Ms. Brandy Ogeen on your question, and there's just no way that we can determine, if we had the 100-point scale, how that would have affected our graduating class. And so, we thought about it, looked at it from different angles. There's just no way we could have made that determination. And so just wanted to get back to you on that because I know that was a question you had last month. The last piece is the 11th grade data. And I know it was a request to have the 11th grade data, but I know that Ms. Hogeen presented the 11th grade data. The only thing she hadn't presented was the science scores and also our AP scores. And so she's got some information to go over to present to us.
This I can read. So we have a few more additional pieces of data. I did share the SAT reading and writing and the SAT math back in June, but I went ahead and included it on this graph. So looking at the graph, this does include 2023 and 2024. The very first column is the New Mexico ASR, which is the science from 2023. The second bar is the New Mexico science from 2024. So where we were at 13% proficient in 2023, we did see an increase to 28% proficient. We also saw a big decrease in our below level kids, where it was at 55%. And this past year, it went down to 41%. And then again, our ELA in 2023, we were at 11% proficient. And this past year, we increased to 17% proficient in in reading and writing. Math, as I said before, still continues to be an area of concern. So we did go from 2% down to 1% proficient. But we did have a 2% increase in our nearing proficient students.
That's
The-
novice, right, Brandy? That's
I'm sorry?
the novice.
The novice. That's the novice.
It's
Yes,
huge.
it is. It
And
is.
that's one of our goals is to decrease that by 25%.
25%.
And I know that's
That's
looking
the-
at 80, that gets us to still more than half our students scoring at novice.
Yes, sir.
And then it doesn't help the math that we don't have a math teacher.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, we
Well,
have somebody there
we-
right now, yeah, but
Yeah.
I mean, and that's huge.
Yeah, one of the things I was speaking to one of our teachers about today is they gave an assessment on fractions and the students don't have a very good understanding of fractions. So we're going to be digging down at those skills, addressing those skills, but
And we have
it'll
those
take some
conversations
time.
with Mr. Chavez, when they
Mhm.
leave Rio Grande, and they're at 4% proficient. It's very hard for the middle school to catch that up. And then when they go,
And then they
it
go to high
snowballs.
school.
They
It
need to
does.
leave Rio Grande, like they need to have those skills,
Yes.
fractions.
Fraction.
And they leave.
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
I did tell them though, it would be a quick fix
Yeah.
because they're cognitively at a higher level. So
yeah.
we will be able to fill it a lot faster than if they were in fourth grade. So
Yes.
we're digging and finding out where those gaps are and coming up with a plan to address them. The next page is just it's the same thing. It's the data, just broken down in numbers so you can see it clearly. The next thing I want to share with you is Pathways to Career reached out to Mr. Chavez. That's our new math curriculum that we were using. And they saw some tremendous growth in our kids in their beginning of the year, middle of the year, and end of year assessment that we give. They receive a quantile score. So if you look at Algebra 1, the national growth is expected to be 135. On average, our Algebra 1 kids grew 139 quantile points. So it was 4 quantile points above the national mean. Our Algebra 2, the national growth was 135. Our Algebra 2 kids on average increased 183 quantile points. So that was 48 quantile points above the national
Brandy,
mean.
the Algebra 2 are the juniors?
Juniors, Some sophomores,
And how does that translate to that SAT?
it's not, but we're still showing growth. Like I really wanted to show that
Yes, yes,
we
that's
are
good
filling those
growth,
gaps. We
yeah.
are trying, the teachers are working really, really hard. I don't know how long it'll be till we see those results on the SAT.
Yes.
It may be a little while, but I did want to celebrate, like
Yes.
they're working hard and our kids are working hard
But
as
is
well.
it the testing piece that
The
they're
test is
missing?
very hard.
That's
The
what I'm saying,
SAT
because
test,
Say, for instance, I'm in the classroom, I'm comfortable with the teacher. I know what I'm doing, I can get it done.
the
But
SAT,
then you go to test
Yeah.
and I'm not a good tester.
yes, and the SAT is timed, where before they're not timed. I don't believe in middle school they're timed. Correct? Chris? No, the middle school tests that they take, they're not timed. The SAT is timed to where for each math question, I forget, but it's almost a minute and a half if they were
That's
to.
That's what
to-
one of the kids.
It's a
was saying.
minute and a half
Yeah,
to answer each question.
right. Yeah, see.
And that's a lot of math to do in a minute and a half. That's a lot of anxiety. That's a lot
Right.
of,
And I know for university, it's either ACT or SAT, it'd be
Yes.
nice if they accepted that,
yeah.
but they don't,
That
right?
they don't.
They don't.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the bottom line is how do you get these kids to the universities they want to go?
Mhm.
If
But,
they
but
don't
then
have
there's
to.
those kids that aren't gonna go to the university that still need that math.
Yes.
That
They-
simple math
That-
that they
yes.
need.
Yeah,
So,
And
yeah, we need to
that's
figure out where that gap is.
so that they.
And
can-
we have a kid over here who's doing tutoring that I understand that she was announcing at volleyball, so we need
Oh,
to put it
nice.
out there
Yeah,
that we have a tutor on staff.
okay, good. Geometry, we also did see, 84-point quantile growth on there where the national mean was 60, so.
Yeah.
I just want to reiterate, our teachers are working really hard and we're really trying to find those gaps and fill them the best we can, the fastest way we can. Next, I don't have this for you. I'm sorry, I apologize, but I did want to share our juniors and seniors have the opportunity to take some AP courses. So our juniors usually take AP English Lang. Our seniors usually take AP English Literature and Composition. So they take a test at the end of the year. It's also timed. It's very similar to SAT because it's given through College Board, the same testing platform. Out of the students that tested for AP Language, we had 23% proficient. To score proficient, it's a 3. If they get a 3, they actually get college credit. It transfers into college credit. So, and then our English Literature, we had 21% of our students. Our pre-calc, we had 11%, which we haven't had anyone
Yeah.
in a while, so that was great. And then I just wanted to highlight our Spanish language
Spanish.
and culture.
Yep.
Out of all the students that tested, 80% of them got a 3, 4, and we had several 5s.
Wow.
So that was
Wow, that's awesome.
phenomenal.
Mhm.
And then our Spanish literature and language, that's usually for our seniors, we had 43%
Wow.
test proficient.
Wow.
So they scored a 3 or better.
Congratulations.
Thanks. Yeah, they did really good. Any questions?
So my question would be, the math teacher, how many teachers do you have for math at the high school?
We have 3.
3.
And our plan is to, for a math interventionist,
Okay.
once we get that 3rd teacher hired.
Okay.
And I know it's difficult, but it starts,
Now,
Way
what if
down.
I know you have Mr. Hernandez, and if he's doing really, really well in math, are you gonna leave him there or is he going to go back? Cause I know he's a great math teacher.
He's
is
a great,
what I'm saying.
he's a great teacher overall.
I know, so
He's-
it's like,
He's the teacher we plan to be the interventionist.
Oh,
He's
okay.
already got some
Okay.
ideas on how
Okay.
to help the kids and.
So I think one
providing
of the
those.
things that we're looking at is how can we best utilize him?
Right.
Because he's,
Yeah.
he is a good
yeah,
teacher.
he's a great.
And as you pointed out, Mr. Marcus, we've got a lot of kids that are at that level 1. And so as an interventionist, we really feel like he could really impact that population of kids.
and there is an interventionist at the middle school.
I believe so.
There is
Correct,
correct.
2.
Nice.
Okay, but Matt, there is one, right? Yeah,
Yes. we're seeing some growth. It's just not, we're not seeing the results in
Yeah.
the summative assessment yet.
Correct.
And, you know, I just
think
want
of
to.
These curriculum maps, and I think if we're,
Yeah.
I mean, I think that may help.
Right, and, you know, and that's where we got to start. We got to start and make sure that our instruction is aligned.
Line.
And,
That would
and so
be-
that's what we're really, making an effort to do. But I just want to go back to Pathways of Careers and, you know, it was a situation where I got called and he said, what's going on over there? What are you guys doing? Because your kids are growing a lot. You're showing tremendous growth. And so, and so it is one of those situations where we're hearing this good feedback and we're getting the attention of outside people, but we're not seeing it yet in the summative assessment, in this case, the SAT. And so we're hoping that we're on the right track. I mean, all the indications are that we are on the right track. It's just going to take a little bit of time to get us there.
It is good to see some positive movement. Really good to see some positive movement.
Thank you.
Brendan.
Thank you.
All right, and with that, concludes the superintendent's report.
Item number 3, limited public comment. Ms. Ramirez? I can't. No? All right. Okay, so we'll go down to new business. And I don't know if the board, if you want to move A to E, we can, or we can continue. How are you guys doing out there? When's the Honor Society? You guys still okay? Okay, well, all right, we'll just keep going. Okay. Item number 4A, the policy service alert for review. Mr. Chavez, I believe that's just for review. We don't.
It's just for review. What they're doing is they're gearing up. This has been, well, it's given a lot of people a lot of heartburn. And it all has to do with Title IX. And so a lot of the changes and, if you remember, back in 2020 was when we had a big change to Title IX, and now we're going through another big change. But luckily, we have our Title IX person here who has just gone through the Title IX certification. But what we also did in anticipation for all the changes, we also had 2 other staff members attend the training as well. And so we're trying to get on top of it and trying to get ahead of it. So that we're up and going. In the advisory, it says that nothing's going to change right now. This is just informational. But they're waiting to see. There are a couple of court hearings that will be happening. They're kind of waiting to see what will happen from that. Tish, do you have anything else to add to that? I know you went to that training. It was pretty intensive. Mr. Sanchez attended as well as Mr. Zamora.
Oh, nice.
Okay, moving along, Mr. Chavez, I didn't see 4B under the tab as for consider approval of voting official.
I don't know that there was anything
Oh,
official that came with it, but what we do have is, and what that is about is every district, and please correct me if I'm wrong, Mr. Sanchez, but every district has a voting member, a voting person that represents the district. And in our case, it's always been Mr. Sanchez or the athletic director.
Okay.
And so, Bernie, do you want to talk a little bit to that? Well, I mean, what does that entail?
What does it mean?
What does it mean?
It means, sorry. Thanks for asking, I guess.
Yes. Thanks for putting you on the spot.
Yeah, really all it is the NMA puts out referendums. They vote, it goes to different organizations within the NMA. So it could be the athletic directors, the superintendent's board, their governing board, but it always goes back to the districts at the end and they have to vote for it.
Okay.
So that's usually handled by someone that'll keep up with those things going on throughout the year, then trainings, and it tends to be athletic directors or superintendents that are part of those boards. And it just comes when we get a thing in saying, hey, do you want to vote? Like the most recent one, we didn't vote in because it's about tennis and we don't offer tennis. So obviously we put in that we don't offer it. So you return that. The more recent one that we voted on would have been the football change with the helmets, our use of pads for 2 weeks, which is allowed now. But things like that, that's what you're voting on. You're voting on how your district feels about it, where you stand, and then, you
And you would be the representative. For
Yes.
this. Okay. All right. All right. Your recommendation, Mr.
My recommendation is to have Mr. Fernie Sanchez be the voting member for the district.
So moved.
So moved by Ms. Garay,
Seconded.
seconded by Mr. Gonzalez. Any discussion before we vote? Okay, I'll go ahead and do an individual vote. If you are in favor, say yes. Opposed, say no. Member Garay,
Yes.
VP Gonzalez,
Yes.
Secretary Legarreta,
Yes.
myself, Marquez, yes. Motion carries 4-0. Athletic Fernando, the voting official is approved. Athletic Fernando Sanchez for all NMMA referendums.
Should say athletic director.
Oh, athletic director. So let me say that. Motion is approved. Athletic Director Fernando Sanchez for all NMAA referendums and voting official. Okay, we'll go to 4C, consider approval of greenhouse project. Mr.
So
Chavez.
this is, we went to, Lorenzo Alba, mentioned, Senator Steinborn, and so I'm gonna mention him here again because he was instrumental in us receiving $155,000 for this project. And so it was an appropriation that was given and awarded to the Hatch Valley Public Schools specifically for the construction, the purchase and construction of a greenhouse over at the middle school. And so this will complete that gap that we had at middle school because we've got the Tower Gardens at the elementary level and we have the Freight Farm at the high school level. And so we had this gap right in the middle. And so this will complete as part of our ag program. We're using hydroponics, using greenhouse, using a controlled environment situation to give the kids exposure in the different growing methods. And of course, since we're an agriculture community, this only makes sense. And so this is approval of that project for $155,000 to again purchase and construct the greenhouse.
Right, so is there a motion to approve the greenhouse project?
So moved.
Moved by Mrs. Garay. Seconded
Second.
Seconded by Mr. Legarreta. Okay, I'll call for an individual vote. Member Garay,
Yes.
VP Gonzalez.
Yes.
Secretary Legarreta,
Yes.
myself, President Marquez, yes. Motion carries 4-0. The greenhouse project is approved. Going down 4D, consider approval of purchase of 2024 Chevrolet Microbird activity bus. What is, I saw it said fit 24 people?
What is that?
Yes.
Okay.
So, and I don't know if,
Is there
Mr.
a
Brown, oh, he
picture of
is
that?
here. Okay, so maybe he could talk to us a little bit more, but, you just give you the skinny real quick.
It's like micro.
He
Is there
came
a
over
picture
and, it's a smaller bus. It's a
Okay,
smaller.
the
it's a small bus.
micro means.
Micro means small, yes,
Oh,
a smaller bus. So he came to me and he says, hey, look, we got to start thinking about replacement of one of our activity buses. It's within 4 years of being end of life. And so so we had some conversations about what is the best way to go about this. And one of the things that Eduardo had mentioned to me was, one of the things that would be helpful is to have a smaller bus. And because we got a lot of our groups that are small, 10, 15 kids.
Yep.
But we're sending 10, 15 kids in this big 44 passenger activity bus. And so so we said, well, let's look at this. This would really, really help us out. And so this is part of the plan to start moving in that direction, getting the microbus this year, and maybe we'll cross our fingers that maybe we can get a plan for the big activity bus that needs to be replaced in the next 3 years. And so
Nice.
Eduardo's here to talk a little bit more. I probably left out a lot of information, but that was the gist of it.
Yeah, so like Mr. Chavez did mention, when we look at it, you're sending, 10, 15 people on a 72 passenger bus. When you look at the efficiency of it, the economical, it's just not there. In other places, you're looking at Albuquerque, Santa Fe, sometimes we go over there, it's tighter turns, it's just more difficult on a bigger bus. So this would be easier on the driver as well to drive. So it's a 24 passenger bus. It does have some racks on the top as well, so that they can put, whatever they want to put in there. I did speak to Mr. Sanchez as well. And one thing that would benefit is also middle school teams. So it's not just Ed Rising, FFA, it's also other sport teams as well, even varsity as well, correct, Mr. Fernando? Varsity. Yeah. They would be a lot more comfortable. They would actually have those activity seats. So I think that it would be a very great benefit for the district.
And
do
in
those
some of
put
those,
seat belts nowadays, those little buses, or they still don't put seat belts?
They do put them when they're in the state of New Mexico, they're not required to
Okay.
to be put.
So one of the things that we've been encountering with like single teams and that sort of thing is we've had to send two Suburbans. You know, because there's been times where the activity bus was either down or not working or, and so sending, that means now you need two drivers. You know, and then you've got you got two different vehicles. This will allow us to get away from that and just have kids on one bus all together.
That's a great idea.
Very cool. And we'll put our nice little bear on there too.
There you
What
go.
color? Is it yellow?
It's gonna
Is
be
it-
white. We're
Oh,
gonna
it's
put a
I'm all
white-
like,
no,
not
no.
yellow.
It's gotta be white.
Not yellow.
Okay.
Bright yellow.
No.
No, it's gonna be white, or it's gonna be the same thing as the other one,
Oh.
and we'll put our logos as well.
I was
Nice.
thinking of a Head Start bus, a little Head Start.
No,
Nothing
no,
right
no,
now. It's
no.
it's a nice one.
I was gonna bring you a little micro one, but
The only drawback with this is it's gonna take up to a year to get it in. And so they are that far behind in production. And so, but if we don't order now, you
We'll
know, if
never
we
get it.
hold it, if we,
Yeah.
wait, it's just gonna push that down further down.
Right.
And so it's probably not gonna benefit us this year. But if we can have it in place by next school year, it'll really, really benefit
Right.
our district.
24.
correct, yes.
Okay.
It
For
would.
next
So-
summer, hopefully.
So
Maybe.
unfortunately, Bluebird and a lot of these chassis, they're actually 2 years out. This is an item that they had in stock and they're still waiting for another year for it to come in.
Really
Yes.
All right.
interesting.
So my recommendation is for approval.
Okay, is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
Moved by Ms. Caray,
Second.
seconded by Mr. Gonzalez. Go ahead and call for an individual vote. If you're in favor, say yes, or opposed, say no. Member Caray,
Yes.
VP Gonzalez.
Yes.
Secretary Legarreta,
Yes.
President Marcus, myself, yes, motion carries 4-0. Purchase of the 2024 Chevrolet Micro Bird Activity Bus is approved. Cool. All right, now 4E, consider approval of out-of-state travel to Anaheim, California. And I
So-
assume that's Disneyland.
Yep, these young people or students have been patiently waiting.
Yes,
And,
thank you.
So we want to bring them up here to tell us a little bit about
I
their
think I already
trip.
saw there was already chaperones. There's 3 of them already. Ooh, there's a chaperone right there.
Good evening, board members. My name is Lorraine Gonzalez, and I'm the president of the National Honor Society Vernon Allen chapter here in Hatch.
Hello, my name is Mike Holguin. I'm the vice president of the National Honor Society.
Hello, my name is Alexis Silva. I am the secretary at the National Honor Society.
Tonight, we are here to request permission to attend an end-of-the-year celebration in California.
During this learning experience, we hope to attend a leadership camp at Disneyland Imagination Campus, where we hope to spend time with our childhood friends, Mickey and Minnie.
Our trip will be self-funded with an estimated cost of around $1,600 per person. Currently, we all have approximately $500 each.
We have plans to fundraise throughout the year with things like just like selling food at the football games and stuff like that. So please support us.
This will be the first National Honor Society trip since 2019, so we're really hoping to make it a fun one.
With COVID hitting the schools really hard, our high school years have really been cut short, and it's affected us a lot with our friends and family.
This trip will allow our National Honor Society members to feel excitement throughout the school year and give us something to look forward to and push for.
We're very excited for the possibility to be able to go with our friends that are from our childhood, our actual friends.
And on behalf of the seniors, we're very hopeful for the possibility of this trip because it will be our last year of high school and we want to spend it doing fun things with our friends.
Come on now.
Go Bears.
If you have a question about how many students are in Honor Society, how many students approximately would be going to Disneyland?
11
Oh, 11.
so far right now.
Okay, so 11.
Are you needing anything from us
Permission?
other than permission?
Permission, honey, huh?
No.
Where's Sheila at?
She's not here today.
Maybe that's why.
So can you have Sheila look into
We can
that
look
to
into
see
it,
what we can
yes.
help them with?
Yes.
Right, so Mr. Chavez?
Recommendation is for approval.
Okay, is there a?
So
motion?
moved.
Moved by Ms. Garay.
Second.
Seconded by Mr.
Chaperone?
Seconded by Mr. Gonzalez. Okay, I will call for an individual vote. If you're in favor, say yes. If opposed, say no. Member Garay,
Yes.
VP Gonzalez.
Yes.
Secretary Legarreta,
Yes.
myself, President Marquez, yes. Motion carries 4-0. You boys and girls are on your way to Anaheim. That was a fun approval.
And me. I'm your friend.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Okay, item number 5, items for future meetings. Anything that you guys can think of right now, up in your heads? Think of anything. Okay. We do not right now, yeah. Okay. Item number 6, executive session. The board will go into executive session pursuant to NMSA 1015-1.2, limited personnel matters. Specifically, the board will discuss superintendent's goals and an evaluation tool. Is there a motion to go into executive session?
So moved.
Moved by Mr. Gonzalez,
Second.
seconded by Mrs. Garay. I will call for a vote, a whole vote. If you are in favor, say yes. Yes. I'll just do a vote. All in favor, say yes.
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 All opposed, say no. Motion carries 4-0. We are now in executive session.
And I
Don't
know,
use the calendar on your phone.
no, I don't use I have a book calendar. Do I have my calendar? Oh, I have a calendar. Let me see what it looks like. Oh, that's August. September. So you're saying the 18th?
Okay.
September,
I will entertain a motion to return from executive session pursuant to NMSA 10-15-1.2,
So moved.
where no action was taken. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Mr. Gonzalez, seconded by Mrs. Garay. I will call for a whole vote. All in favor, say aye.
aye.
All opposed, say no. Okay, motion carries 4-0. We are now back in regular session. Item number 7, next regular board meeting. Okay, we have the regular scheduled board meeting for Wednesday, September 11th, 2024 at 6 p.m. Is there any discussion about that?
I'd like to
Date.
make a motion to change it from September 11th to the 18th. September 18th, if possible.
Okay, we have a motion to move the board meeting from Wednesday, September 11th to Wednesday, September 18th at 6 p.m.
Seconded.
Is there a motion you're making the motion, correct?
Correct.
Yes.
Okay, it
Second.
was motioned by Mr. Legarreta, seconded by Mr. Gonzalez. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, say no. Okay, motion carries to move the board meeting to September 18th, 2024 at 6 p.m. Next item on the agenda, adjournment. Is there a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Moved by Mr.
Seconded.
Gonzalez, seconded by Mr. Gonzalez. All in favor, say aye.
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 All opposed, say no. Motion carries, meeting adjourned.
They made it to the Statue of Liberty. I didn't get to go to the Statue of Liberty.